Welcome back to McRaeathon Blast from the Past 2000. We are currently here on the McRaeathon channel and we are also being hosted on the NSG channel. Hello to folks in Norway and elsewhere. We are a 2-day speedrunning event focused primarily on racing games, with this event being focused specifically on games being released from the 2000s, so 2000 and I was supposed to say 2000, from 2000 to 2009, with this game being a perfect example. So, Proasek, why don't you take it away?
Thank you very much. Yes, hello ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome back to the channel. My name is Proasek and this is Hot Wheels World Race, a 2003 racing game released by Climax Studios and THQ. It is pretty emblematic, I would say, of its era. It is a very fun, kind of janky, very janky arcade racer that honestly, I love this game so much as a speedrun. As a casual game, it is garbage. Hot garbage. Do not play it casually. But as a speedrun, genuinely top 10 games of all time. We're going to be getting into Rookie League today. That is the shortest full game category. It contains the first 6 tracks of the game. And I will be getting us underway here in just a few short seconds. So that will happen as soon as I select this car. In 3, 2, 1, boom. Let's go. Hey, so the first thing that I'm going to bring up, we do a little bit of AI manipulation on this track, Cloud 9. We are starting up in the sky, of course, because who needs to go on the grass or in planes or somewhere normal? So I'm just going to let off the accelerator for about a second to manipulate where the AI drivers are. This track is genuinely a massive reset point. It's probably the least consistent track in the game. So, unfortunate that it comes first. You'll probably have noticed by now the main movement strategy in this game. It is called shuffling. And essentially it is tricking the game into trying to correct the angle of your car while also giving you a speed boost via either a boost panel, a boost strip, which we'll see a bit later, or the nitrox meter on the right of the screen. Why this works is a little bit convoluted, but essentially, when you go over a boost strip or when you begin boosting, the game tries to correct you to be in line with that boost. Then it applies the boost. Then it tries to correct for its correction and put you back the way you were. And when it does this last step, it does it by applying a corner force to the back of the car. And that can send you really quite fast. Much further than the 200 miles per hour soft speed limit that the game tries to enforce. This has actually been the best Cloud 9 I've had in a couple of weeks, so that's nice. Nice start to things. Just going to take a sip of my nice hot cup of tea. It's actually still a little bit too hot. As we move into Satellite City, because what is the natural progression from starting in a city in the sky? That is, of course, to go to space. First thing I'm going to do on this track is turn around for what we call a slingshot, and that is because there is a boost panel over here. And we can get ourselves up to speed much faster and, of course, take advantage of a shuffle. There you saw a boost strip, and there's going to be a better example of one here in just a moment. Because we are coming up to a big corkscrew, and unlike the boost panels we've been going on so far, when we cross over into a special bit of track geometry indicated by a boost strip, we will have a continuous boost force applied to us for anywhere between 2 and 5 seconds, I think it is. And on Corkscrew here on Satellite City, it is quite dangerous. We've come to the end of the lap, by the way, and you may have noticed there are no jumps, and that is completely unique to this track, which means that the only option we have to get nitrox meter is with the rings that have been scattered around the track. It's nice that I have Linky on as host for this one, because this is actually secretly a Sonic game. Full of rings.
Oh my god!
I know, right? Never thought we'd see the day. Collecting 20 rings will give you the nitrox meter, and on this track where there's no jumps to give you a nitrox reward for doing tricks, we try to route in at least 2 laps to get the nitrox boost at the end. 2 out of 3 is generally the target. If you can get 3 of 3, that's great, but it's very unlikely when just playing normally. You will have to go significantly out of your way. That said, there are 100 rings on every track, which would imply a lot of feast. That was a pretty good shuffle there off the end of the corkscrew, although then I kind of beansed it by going backwards the whole time. Fortunately, boost panels and boost strips do have that corrective force I mentioned earlier. What was I saying? Yes, there are 100 ring pickups throughout the track, which means there is a lot of opportunity to get Nitrox boost, but most of them will be out of your way, so it's not always optimal to go get them. Another sip. Lovely. Let's see, what was I going to say? Something boosting. Yes, so when you are doing a jump, you will go, by the way, it's back to the clouds. We got tired of space. This is Vapor City. When you do a jump, and you'll see this exampled here in a second, you can do 2 tricks, be they 2 front flips, back flips, side flips, whatever you fancy, and then land perfectly, and that's indicated by the blue flash beneath the car. That is enough for a full charge on the Nitrox meter. If you try to do the same trick 2 ramps in a row, however, you will get a stale. That's a input bug there that occasionally happens on a ramp where you will have your controls locked out, unfortunately. And yeah, I won't be able to get enough Nitrox to spend it on that ramp there, because one thing else that you can use for the Nitrox meter for, as well as for dumping it into Nitrox shuffles, is to go further on certain ramps, and this can either unlock alternate routes or just further distance and faster landing speed. That's what I was trying to do there, and that was actually something called a refill shuffle. It's a bit uncommon throughout the game, but basically... Funky rampness. Basically, when you land from a jump, you aren't given the Nitrox reward instantly. You actually receive it a couple of seconds after landing. So you can, if you are holding onto a Nitrox meter, perform a shuffle using that. Oh geez, what is happening to me today? It's all in the marathon nerves, clearly. Then you can get the Nitrox in what might be a more optimal space, but still get rewarded for the ramp. Whew! Right. So, one thing else that I do want to mention that you might have seen there towards the end of lap 2, I dropped my Nitrox a bit early rather than waiting for the ramp, and I performed a wall-assisted shuffle all the way up to the ramp, and I still got quite a bit of distance. Unfortunately, it didn't go quite to plan, and I ended up flying off the side. But that is something called a fast ramp, where you can essentially get the benefit of a Nitrox shuffle and the Nitrox extension to a ramp using only 1 tank, which I will be trying to do on this track, hopefully all 3 laps. If I'm not going backwards, clearly. So, I'm going to wait for these rings over here that I know were coming up. And then we've got these nice long straightaways. Nice. As you can see by the trail of rings in the middle of that ramp, we do get about the same distance, and we do land with even a bit more speed than a regular Nitrox ramp. So performing a fast ramp is very, very good. When I started running it, this track, Tesla's Cube, which by the way, the first time we've been on the ground. That's a bit wild. Yeah. When I started playing it, it was only on this track that we even did fast ramps. At least in the Rookie League. But that has since expanded, and there are now opportunities to use it on Vapor City and elsewhere. Didn't quite get all the reward I was hoping for there. Fortunately, I have left rings. This track is very generous, probably because there's not that many branching paths, so a lot of the rings are just convenient for us to get. One thing that I've not gone into, and I probably should, is the alternate routes, alternate paths rather. So we are now on lap 3, which means I can burn that again. We will be going to the right here, as we did on lap 2, and that is unlocked to us by picking up the flame wheel pickup. And we had to be a bit careful on the third lap of Vapor City, you might have picked up, in order to grab that, because usually we can trust the AI to get it, but that isn't always the case. I was hoping I wouldn't have to explain that. So what happened there, pardon me as I just take a drink for a moment. Lovely. What happened at the end of that lap? I tried to do a Nitrox shuffle, but it didn't let me. You know, I was pushing the button, but the tank stayed full, and I just ended up spinning around like an absolute nerd. And that is called freewheeling. The reason that happened is you can only use the Nitrox tank if you have all 4 tires on the floor. Here we are in space once again. This is, weirdly, even though there's 15 tracks in the game, this is the last of the space tracks. We only go there twice, and they're both in the Rookie League. We did another slingshot at the start of the track, and this is actually the first track where it was implemented, to my knowledge, across the entire game, not just Rookie League. And there is something I should mention on this track, and you know what, we're making good pace, so I might demonstrate it later. I'm definitely just covering myself because it is technically a mistake. But I'm going to aggressively brake in that Nitrox shuffle rather than maintain all the speed. And that is because if you get too far away from the track, internally, essentially you can imagine a tether, like a rubber band between... between the bottom of your car and the track beneath it. Thanks for the boost, guy. Yes, imagine that tether between the bottom of the car and any bit of track. If that is pulled too taut, if that is extended too much, then you will get pulled back down and your car will be reset. And this loses all the speed and it's very bad. Usually, this isn't a problem. It's not something we need to worry about under most circumstances. However, on this track, there is this drop down here and a rise back up towards the end. And wow, I really just lost so much speed. I'm definitely safe from the tether. And the margins, for whatever reason, on this track are just quite tight. And the tether will pull you back down. On the drop down, if you go above about... Oh, there's Mustale I was talking about earlier. That's unfortunate. If you go above about 280 on the drop down or about 240 on the rise back up, then you will get pulled by the tether. It's a real shame that I didn't get the landing or the trick Nitrox on that third lap, because I was genuinely planning to show off the tether because it didn't actually happen organically. Oh well, I guess I'm just too gaming. He says, missing several of the boost pads. Alright, we are going to the last track of the league. We've made pretty good time, I would say. I haven't kept a complete timer, I don't have my timer up, but we are now in Mist Mountain, and this is kind of indicative of how the Veteran League tracks are, rather than the Rookie League tracks. It plays very much more like the later stages. So it's a good taste of things to come that you get. And this track actually has a variation on a fast ramp called a free ramp. What makes a free ramp different from a fast ramp? Well, we are going to use not a Nitrox shuffle, but a regular shuffle off of a pad, this one coming up here, in order to try and get an extension on the next ramp without a Nitrox used at all. We got it! That is not very consistent, so I'm very happy we got that. Let us go indeed. We will probably need to do that on lap 3 as well. We don't need to on lap 2 just because of the way the routing works out. But I'm happy to have got that at least once so far to show off. But yeah, as you saw, we were able to go far enough to pick up a flame wheel pickup that I was talking about back in Tesla's Cube, which meant that we can unlock the shorter cuts throughout the track on lap 1. They are only intended to be accessible on lap 2. But with the power of free ramp, we are more than capable of getting it. Here's why I say we won't need it on lap 2, because we can actually get it... Okay, we can actually get it, thank you, via that jump there. I did the same trick twice in a row and got a stale. But that means we actually have nitrox in the tank, so when we come up to the ramp, we can just burn that and not even have to worry about that. Ah, nuts. I meant to have had a nitrox there. Once again, I did a stale, just... Oh no, it was a bad landing, wasn't it? So that means we won't get the full power of the shortcut, but we will get enough of one that things are working out properly. There's the stale I was talking about. One thing I've not gone into at all, by the way, you may notice that my car was on fire for a bit there. That's a good thing, believe it or not. That is flame aura. At the top of the screen, you will notice currently 2 orange checks in boxes. And on the left, when I do a jump, there are instructions for what buttons to push. Yep, too far ahead of the AI, so they won't get us that ramp. Oh well. When we do a jump, we can perform these button combos. And if we do so 3 ramps in a row, we are rewarded with Flame Aura, which is a flat improvement to basically every statistic. Our grip is improved, our handling, our speed, our boost, everything is better. Nope, didn't go far enough. Okay. Well, I'm glad we got it in one opportunity at least then. Whoop. And we go through the chicane as well, which I am just terrible at driving. So I lose a bit more speed there. It's free time loss. Let's go. We're coming up now towards the end of the track, which will of course be the end of the run. We have made excellent time, in fact. But you know, I like to have margin because I am a little out of practice with this game. And anything can happen, like a unplanned mid-track barrel roll, for example, which can just lose a bit of time. But yes, I believe that is time. And now, finish. There we are.
GG.
Thank you very much. Yes, that was a pretty good run. I didn't catch my final time. You'll probably have it in a couple of seconds.
We have a 15-16.
Not bad at all, 15-16. I have no idea what my PB is, so I can't tell you how that actually compares. But that was Hot Wheels World Race. I encourage everyone watching at home to check out this game as a speedrun. Go check out Drew, who is the world record holder. His runs are actually mental. It's brilliant. The game gets so much sillier than what I have demonstrated here with all the modern routing. Check out the rest of the tracks as well. Veteran League and Elite League get you 15 tracks overall, which is really nice to see. There is also all pickups, which goes picking up every single ring item. That is a really good run. I recommend looking into that as well. But that is it for the run. If you want to see more from me, you can do so over on twitch.tv/Proasek, where I try to be live every Wednesday and Thursday. Usually some kind of racing game speedrunning, a lot of Trackmania, some of this, some of that, some of the other. And on Thursdays I usually do some variety stuff, usually it's Skyrim at the moment. Or you can find me over on YouTube at Proasek VA or Proasek SR. Those are my 2 channels that you can go and check out for all of your delightful video needs. I recommend it highly, but I will throw it back at this point to Linky to take us to intermission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, we will be going to intermission in just a moment, but coming up we have Extreme G3 All Bronze Races from Linkermeister. You do not want to miss that if you are a fan of, I believe it is very similar. Is this the one that is similar to F-Zero? No, sorry, this is the one that's similar to Tron. So Tron Racing, if you're a fan of that. But yes, Proasek, thank you very much for submitting that. A very, very silly game, just seeing you blast through and doing some spins on the track as you do.
Going sideways is faster than going forwards. Everyone knows this.
Oh yeah, everyone. If we learned anything from Super Taxi Driver 2006 last night, we know going sideways is faster. Yes, we'll go to an intermission, folks. This will be the end of my hosting shift for today, but you will see me later. So, hope you enjoy the rest of the marathon, and we'll see you in a few.